Hello everyone, I'm the Holy Hermit and welcome to another new video of mine. I've been trying to do this for a very long time. I had a few ideas here and there but nothing seemed appropriate for a video like this. So what you're going to see today is me playing a game called Dota 2. Something I've been playing for quite some time now alongside Diablo 3. So this game I'll be doing a gameplay commentary, but before we start all of that I'm going to talk a little bit about the gameplay. So in case you're new like me, if you don't play the game that much, then I'll give you a little brief idea of how the game works. Now the game is called Dota 2, 2 being the second part of course. Dota stands for Defense of the Ancient, where your job as part of a 5-man team is to destroy enemies' base, and they try to do exactly the same thing from their side. So it's basically a tug of war and there are 5 people pulling ropes on each side. But to make matters more complicated, there is not just a single rope. To win the battle you have 3 ropes, as in 3 different ways to get your job done. And all these teams struggle on this amazing map, and the end result would have to be destroying the enemy's ancient. So kills are an important part. You can destroy enemies, they can destroy you in turn, they can kill your friends, all that good stuff. But the point is, the enemy's base must be destroyed, and that's how a victory is decided. Kinda sounds pretty simple, right? But it's very complicated. I can humbly say this is one of the most complicated games I've ever played. And here I am trying to actually do a commentary over it, so I do apologize. If you're new around here, please do realize that I only play Diablo 3. This is my endeavor, my struggle, and my, belief at trying a new game out. I love this game, so you're going to see a game from a noob's perspective. So the mistakes I'm going to make, hopefully you all enjoy it, you find it fun, you find it enjoyable, and maybe some of you learn the game as well if you're trying to get into a game like this. So without further ado, this is basically a replay. I'm going to start the game. It's going to start recording now. It was recorded, I'm just going to do a replay commentary. So there we go. Just to introduce you again, as you can see there are people connecting, so this is a multiplayer game. There are no computerized bots in the game. The only computerized people you see will be things called creeps, which I'm going to show you later on. But here we are, 7 people have connected. Usually this is what happens in a game like this, people taking time to connect. And in the meantime, this thing is actually happening. I can talk a little bit more about this and what I've been doing. So I still make Diablo videos, as you know guys, but every now and then I do like to play other games, and this is what I've been doing so far. I love this game and I thought I really wanted to share with you. So whether you like it or not, please let me know, because if you enjoy video series like these, I'll be glad to do more of them, alright? So here we go. Now this is the picking stage. As I said, I didn't say it actually, this game is pretty much like a game of chess, but rather than 2 people facing off, as I said, there's 10 people. So you can imagine the complexity when 10 individuals who have different thinking, different mentality going into a game which has a common goal. So the top side you see is my side. It's called the dire side. It's the dark versus the good kind of thing, but it really doesn't matter, right? Because it's a multiplayer game. It basically separates 2 teams. So the dire side is picking people. The first gentleman picking up a hero the hero is called Shadow Shaman. I'll talk a little bit about him, keep things very simple. This hero is a ranged hero that can attack you from a distance. He has a lot of magical spells that can disable a target. The next hero is a Nature's Prophet. The guy with the funky looking horns actually. He is known for pushing different lanes. I'll talk more about that later, but he's a very unconventional hero. On the opponent's side, another guy managed to pick another player, and that guy is called Phantom Lancer. We call him lovingly as Cancer Lancer for the nasty things he'll do in the game, you'll see. The other guy is Pudge, so the guy with crooked teeth and all. He is known to be a very scary hero in the game for the ability of him pulling you away from your own safety and kind of pulling you into trouble kind of thing. More on that later again. So everyone's picked their heroes and I'm kind of still slowing down, but here I can give you a little idea of how map looks like actually. So here we go. This is a dire side. This big building you see over here is our ancient. Our job is to protect it at all times, and also pushing ourselves into the enemy's base, the shiny one over here, and destroy that. Whoever destroys the enemy base first wins. But remember when I talked earlier about the tug of war and you having 3 ropes basically to pull each other. In this game we call them lanes. There are 3 different well-defined pathways in which you can actually get into enemy's base. Quite simple, as you can see there's one entrance to the enemy base here, there's one at the top and there's one at the bottom. So lovingly they're called the bottom lane, the mid lane and the top lane. And you have this lane extending way over. This is the enemy moving towards us, towards our side, and they can make their way into our base. But defending us in these places are these towers. Now these towers at the beginning of the game are very tough to deal with, because towers being towers deal a lot of damage. That's the damage number, and us as heroes are kind of weak. So towers are what is holding us back. Otherwise we would all charge in and hide in and basically attack the base. That cannot happen because of towers, and also because of little cool guys you'll see running out of our base. They're called creeps, or minions if you will. They're controlled by computer, they're automated, they'll always follow a simple path, and that is on this lane. They will never deviate from this lane. If some way they actually go out of the lane, their job is to basically run along this path and meet head on with these guys and battle on and try and make their way into the enemy's base. At the same time, the other enemy creeps will do the same. So that's how the lanes work. This is the middle lane, this is the top lane. As you can see, these creeps have actually curved around, even though the shortest distance would be a straight line from here, as you can see me with my mouse, but they actually follow the path. So there we go, and this is the bottom lane. So where am I in this game, right? Let's actually go and find out. It's my first time doing this, so I apologize. Here we go. This is the hero I didn't talk about. Remember the guy I showed you, the magical guy who does a lot of ranged damage? It's this guy over here, Samoe, or Shadow Shaman. This is me, yours truly, the Holy Hermit. And I am in the bottom lane, and as you can see, the way the lane setup is, you see one enemy facing another, our teammate facing another enemy in the middle lane, but at the bottom lane our structure is so that you can see there's two of us versus two of the enemies. You don't see them right now because I've actually got the player perspective. I can actually show you free camera. Here we go. So there we go, that's another enemy right here, and that's an illusion. Talk about that later. See, so much information, so I'll try my best to make this more entertaining for you. But let's get to the nit and grit of this, and I'm going to go to player perspective. There we go. And yeah, we're watching the Holy Hermit, aren't we? Yeah, there we go. So guys, the idea of this again, as you can see, the creeps push from both sides, and their job is to pummel the other creep and slowly make their way to the tower, the structures I showed you. You destroy the towers, you keep moving to the next set of towers until finally you end up in their base. So what you do is creeps keep fighting, but what's your job standing in the lane, of course, is to get a thing called last hit. Watch every time I attack a creep. If I manage to secure the last hit on a creep, as in the creep's death is marked by my attack, then I get gold for it. And gold, of course, is the currency of the game. This currency lets you buy items. It lets you become stronger and again, get the advantage over your opponents. Because most heroes, people who disagree here, the pros would, are pretty much balanced. Every hero has its place, every hero can do cool things, but it's the ability for you last hitting enemies, getting that gold is what lets you become stronger than them. And that's basically the meta game. You play with an opponent, you play with your own friend, but the goal is to farm these creeps, get the last hits and get the gold for it. As you can see, the green numbers popping up, that's me actually successfully last hitting, and believe it or not, it's a lot harder than it looks. A noob like me gets it wrong most of the time, but this time we're doing okay. But let's go over our hero. What am I doing in this? I look like this big burly dude. He's got a pretty cool looking horns, I must say, and he's a melee hero. So as you can see, I'm kind of at a disadvantage because on the other side there's a gentleman who can do a ranged attack at me, and there's another guy who can do some cool abilities at me, which kind of prevents me from last hitting. Again, by last hitting I mean prevents me from getting gold. But this I can get last hits, so to speak, in cooler ways, and that is I can use some abilities. So let's talk about what abilities are. Same thing like Diablo or any other game. Every hero must have some kind of cool powers. Otherwise, what's the point of being a hero? So my hero has a few abilities which you'll see me use later on in the game in a pretty cool way. The first one I'll go over is a thing called Storm Hammer. This is basically a stun. You throw this magical damage nuke. We call this a nuke and a stun basically. What this means is you have this ability where you throw out this magical hammer at an opponent, which stuns the target for 2 seconds and deals some damage. So very simple on paper, right? You see a guy, you throw this stun at them. He's a melee guy. This lets him, close the distance in and attack him for a few, hits or so. And that's the thing. And since I talked about you can kill enemy, these little creeps here, you can also kill enemies' heroes. And as you would assume, yes, the enemy's hero will give you more gold. So as I talked about earlier, what makes you stronger is your ability to buy items and to level up faster. This is even escalated to a further point if you actually end up killing enemy heroes. So we are in the lane each other, but we can't just charge at each other. So our job is to not only secure the last hits, but to actually kill the enemy's hero. And at the same time, we also try to deny our creeps. So much weird information I'm talking about, right guys? But trust me, it gets easier as you play along. So as you can see, I have to last hit an enemy creep to get the gold, but I can also last hit my own creep who's about to die to deny the enemy that experience. So if he were to attack the creep, and if I attack my creep before him and kill him, that means he's denied of the gold. As you can see there, my friend there turned the enemy into a chicken. That's one of his abilities, disabling him, and I throw a stun to follow up. But at the same time, the enemy used his ability, which makes him invisible. He made himself invisible and walked away. You saw him going away, but in the game I couldn't see myself. So there we go. That's how the game goes. So it's not very easy, as you can see. It's not generally easy to walk up to a hero and kill him, because they have a lot of health. They have a friendly hero next to them. Also, they have these little creeps, because if you go way close to them and you cross a certain threshold, they'll start attacking you. So again, remember the game of tug and war. That's basically what Dota is about in a nutshell, at least what I can understand. So let's go over other things. I talked about my ability. My first ability was Stormhammer. The second one, which I haven't taken so far, is Cleave, which allows me to, well, hit multiple people around me. The guy has a massive sword and it must do something cool, right? So this basically means if I attack a single guy, anyone around him in a small area will also take the damage if I choose to level it up. And the next one gives me armor, and it also gives me movement speed. Basically that makes me tanky. I'm going to talk all about this in a minute. And the final ability, which for every character is utterly unique, is called an ultimate ability. My ability basically gives me double damage, triple damage, or yeah, actually double damage, even triple damage. That's basically what Sven does. But these abilities only unlock as you level up. Now, speaking about how to level up in the game, remember, as I said, when you get last hits, these golds popping up, you get the gold for it. Also, when a creep dies right around you, you also get experience for this. This bar you see at the bottom, it says 416 out of 500. That's how much XP I need. So very soon you will see, if we get 2 more creeps killed, we are actually going to be level 5, or maybe at this level. Nope, see, there we go. So this is how experience works. I'm going to reach the next level and then I'll choose a new ability. Now it's entirely up to me. The game does not restrict you to choose what abilities you want. And same thing in Diablo, as I share with you guys. Hey, put this skill together, you know, put Mantra of Evasion on, put this on, put that on. This makes a build. Same things happened in Dota. But in this time you only have 4 skills. But the way you scale them up, the way you individually level them up, it depends, you know. That's basically what defines your build from another build, and these builds really matter. If I were to accidentally get a wrong spell, chances would be I'd be squishy, or I'd be doing damage in a wrong way, which would again, you know, hinder my team. So to choose what to do is very important. But more importantly, if you're playing with someone in your lane, like my friend here Samoy is, then you have to scale an ability that can help you and your partner at the same time. For example, he has an ability that can turn enemies into chicken. So if he can turn into chicken, which means he can disable them, what do I do after that? If I get armor here, that's not going to help us at all, because we're trying to kill the guy. So on the contrary, if he turns enemy, if he can disable enemies, if I can then again disable, then we actually prolong, you know, the duration at which an enemy is pretty much incapacitated. So that's the idea here. That's why you see me pretty much going crazy after this ability here, Stormhammer, which increases my stun damage, and it keeps the duration pretty much the same. So that's basically abilities. I'm going to talk more about this again. The video will be long, guys. We're going to be talking lots about it. So I hope you're enjoying it so far, and I hope I'm doing an okay job trying to show you what the game of Dota is. And if you're a veteran, you probably are enjoying my horrible last hitting the way I'm doing it here. So let's hide this. I think we don't need it for now. Let me show you the item. So this is your inventory. This is basically the items you can keep, which lets you do cool things, you know, the items you purchase. Right now I have 6 slots, and I'm buying certain items that make me stronger, and that's the whole goal basically. You do 2 things. You want to hit harder, quite simple, right? And you also want to be survivable, as in when enemies hit you in turn, you want to be able to somehow survive that. And I use the word somehow because it is pretty tough. As I said, you know, 5 people versus 5 people. You know, it's like 10 minds working together or against each other kind of thing to get something done, and the probability and chances of things going wrong are quite a lot. So here we go. Now you see me, I teleported to the top lane, my friend called out for help, and here I am. We're trying to figure out what to do here. And here we go. I throw a stun in. Remember the ability I showed you? This guy's running away from us and he got slowed and he died. So this is what we call basically a counter initiation. The enemy team killed one of our friend, the gentleman on the horse. This guy's called Abaddon here. He's dead. But I teleported top lane and we were 3-on-2 and we pretty much 3-on-1. We ganged up on one guy and we got the kill. So there is no point in being fair in this game. It's not a game of honor or anything. Quite the contrary, it's a game of strategy. You go there and you pretty much try to, to win by any means necessary, and that's how it works. Not cheating, of course, because you can't cheat in the game. But here we go. So that's another stun I threw, hoping that I would catch the guy off guard. But see, as you see, there is such a small time at which you can get kills on an opponent that every single move you make is very crucial. So I'm just wandering aimlessly now, not knowing what to do. So I think I'm gonna buy a teleport scroll. Now this is the teleport scroll I was talking about earlier. This scroll lets you teleport anywhere on the map, under your tower or back to your base. But I decide not to go back because there's still a fight happening here. And see, this is basically strength in numbers. There were 4 of us versus 3 of them, and we got to one of the heroes. Nice and simple. We actually got one of our heroes died as well at the same time, and that was an unsuccessful ability. That's another ultimate ability for a fellow hero, this guy here. And we're trying to get this guy killed, but I'm afraid he's going to run. So the guys who know Dota would know that we pretty much screwed up over there. We didn't do that much of a good job. Now you see my health is very low. You can see the top bar here is the HP. The bottom bar is the mana. When this thing goes down, obviously you die. Mana lets you use your magical abilities, which in my case is Storm Hammer. And the other ability I actually have active right now is... Let's go to our player. Actually, I'm looking at my friend right now. There we go. Is God's Strength, which gives me double damage. So there we go. And this is very important, as I said, keeping your health and your magic up. Because even if you have max health and if you don't have any of these magic points, or mana if you will, then you will not be able to cast your abilities, which means you will not be fighting at your full potential. And this usually means that you're going to die because, hey, you're slacking off. You only have health to counter their attacks, whereas they have health and magic. So again, a game of balance. Whilst I was there, my friend actually managed to get caught out. He was attacked by 3 different players again and he died. So as a result, I'm going to stay away because I know there are about 3 heroes in the lane. If I walk in there, chances are they might be waiting for an ambush. Again, I have no idea where they are. As you can see, this part of the map is all fog, You can't see what's happening over here because we don't have vision of that. I'll talk about vision later as the game goes by. But anyways, I summon up the courage and I stand here. And again, this is 2 versus 1. Very likely chance that if I go forward I will die, so I have to play safe here. And as you can see now, their creeps are pushing closer towards my tower, so my first line of defense on this lane has taken some damage. So their lane is somewhat winning right now, but we can change the balance by pretty much hitting the creeps. And there we go. So let's talk about the items. The items I'm wearing is power tread. Now let me be a little bit more get into like the meat and the potatoes of the whole thing. Now every character has to build items, as I said earlier, in ways that would help him to A, survive, and B, to deal damage. But there's more to that, right? There are 3 different classes, if you will, of characters. And by classes I mean the way they become stronger. Of course, every character in Dota, and did I mention, guys, by the way, there are about 100 heroes in Dota who all play pretty much a different game than the guy next to them. But this hero is of the strength class, which means the guy gets stronger by buying strength items. He gains more HP, but more importantly, he gains damage if you give him strength-based items. So the first set of items I bought on him were power treads. Now these are boots that let you move faster. As you can see, it's got 3 amazing abilities here. It lets you it gives you slightly increased attack speed. Again, more attack speeds mean the more attacks I can land on an opponent, meaning more damage I can do. And the next one is selected attribute. Now look at this. Now this was pretty much an amazing gank. My friend goes behind. These guys were careless. They were pushing our tower. We were hiding in the jungle. We saw them out of position. My friend dropped his ultimate. This is his ultimate, by the way. Look how different it is to mine. I just basically become a very angry dude who hits people harder. His ultimate summons these snakes, serpent wards they're called, and they also deal massive amount of damage. So this was what we call a play we made here. The enemy, I'll go to free camera right about now. I'll explain what just happened there. The enemy team walked up over here behind the tower. They had no idea where we were, but we were hiding here in the ambush. We were waiting. As soon as they went there, we went right behind them because they'll have to come back again or fight us, but they can't fight us because we had our tower shooting at them. So the guy was pretty much in a big pickle. My friend dropped the wards here. I threw my stun and we basically right clicked him to death. So here we go, let's go back to our player perspective. So now we're doing pretty good, and let's talk about score now. I'm actually going to diversify a little bit. I'm not just going to show you me doing what I'm doing, but I'm also going to show you the map around what other people are doing at the same time, because remember, it's a team's game. It's a team game. No matter how good you are, no matter how bad you are, the game is won by a team. You know, it's not a single player endeavor. Sometimes one guy is way too good at lower level games and he can win the game for you, but anywhere where people play semi-serious Dota, you will have to play together. There is no other option, because at the core of it, as I said, it's a team game. So here we are, and the score right now is 9-9, which means we both have same amount of kills. This does not matter in the slightest bit. As I said, the only thing that comes out of these kills is gold you farm, and also the XP, the character level. I'm going to go to player perspective, and here we go, Sven. So as you can see now, I've leveled up a new ability, and we are in their jungle. This looks pretty scary to us, but here we go. There's 3 heroes versus 2, but we are fighting here. And unfortunately, as I said again, if you ever get teamed up, there's more than, you know, there's 3 of them and 2 of you. Basically, if they're in greater numbers, chances are you will die. And as you can see, even though we had a good initiation, these guys were wandering, and this is the first mistake we make in our game. And this would happen to be my first death. That's the scorecard over here. I can show you more. This is me right here. I'm the Holy Hermit, and I have 2 kills, 1 death, and 2 assists. Again, assists are all important, and there you can see my gold being growing ever so steadily. And now they have an advantage over us. Not a big one, but we did die. By the way, if you do die, you spawn after a certain amount of time. As you can see, the timer rolling down here. So even though, you know, it's not a permanent death, you're giving enemies gold, because every time a hero dies, you give gold to the other team, and you also give them valuable experience, so which means they become stronger than you are. So scary stuff, right? So I come back to the lane again. As I said, I see the wave, the enemy creeps getting near my tower. Now I have to defend that at every cost. So I will get back here and I'll start pummeling this big catapult. Now these are siege units, the one that got just destroyed. They travel slowly, they're usually at the back of the pack, and they hit like a truck. They don't hit creeps that hard, and they attack very less often. But when they do, they hit pretty hard, especially on towers, and that's their job. They're siege units that they're meant to take down towers. So here I am. Let's look at the items I have. I have these things called drums now. Another important item, usually a player like Sven, like me, a strength carry builds. And this basically, as you can see, it gives me some cool abilities. It gives me 9 to all attributes, which means it increases my strength, my dexterity, and my intelligence. Speaking of dexterity, I did cover what a strength hero is. Let me cover what an agility hero is. And a good example of an agility hero, let's find out here. Phantom Lancer could be one. Here we go. That's an agility hero. Contrary to my hero, who gets stronger, getting more strength items, this gentleman here gets stronger if you get agility items on him. So agility grants him not only damage, it also grants him armor. Same thing happens to me, but this gentleman has a bonus of getting damage. So he will build everything he can in his power that will boost his damage, which will be agility items. And on the other side, you also have heroes like these, my friend here, intelligence hero. That's called Shadow Shaman, and his main attribute is intelligence. Right at the bottom you see, and this, as you can see, increases his damage. It also increases his mana regeneration, and pretty good stuff. So here I am. As I talked about my item, I'm carrying Drums of Endurance, but now I've actually bought another item called Morbid Mask. This thing lets me steal life every time I attack someone. So this basically makes me more sustainable. When I'm attacking someone, a part of the damage I deal gets converted back to life, and as you can see, the HP bar fluctuating a lot. Even though they're hitting me, I am stealing some life back. Quite simply, lifesteal. That's what this item is. And the goal is, you just don't buy one item on its own. You try to build one item into another, and you basically build up your character from there. So remember, we started off with pretty much nothing, and now we are slowly building up. This is the jungle, and we actually have a ward here. I'll talk about these in a minute. And because of these wards here, we actually were able to see enemies moving closer to us. Now these wards are invisible to enemy players. That's why you see 2 of them stacked near them. We cannot find them, we cannot see them, because they are called observer wards. Their innate ability is they're invisible on their own, and they can basically highlight an area around you. And vision is the most important part in this game. As they say, knowledge, is the biggest power you have in a battle or a warfare. To have knowledge of your opponent is the most important thing. In the meantime, as you saw, my friend just stood here without moving. That allowed this guy to pull him towards him and pretty much chow him down. That's the ability of this hero. He's a very scary hero, and what he does is he can pull enemies away from their safety into harm's way and basically massacre them. As you saw, from my tower where nothing could go wrong to right over here where he had 2 heroes waiting on him dealing damage. That's Pudge for you. So since I've explained the game slightly in a, hopefully I'm doing a good job, guys. Do let me know, right? Again, a very informal commentary I'm doing today. So let's look at other lanes. We also had a middle tower here which got destroyed, which meant our hero was unsuccessful in defending this, or maybe we had too much pressure on this lane. So this lane is being pushed in. So now we only have 1 tower here which is slightly damaged, as you can see, against 2 of theirs. So we are pretty much losing the game. The other thing you can say why we're losing the game as of now is they've killed 7 more heroes, 8 more heroes. Wow, make that 8 over our 10 heroes. So we've only had 10 kills on them, whereas they have had 18. So things are not going good at all. So here I am. I'm actually wandering into jungle. Let's see what I'm going to do right now. Player perspective. Alright, my friend's probably going to get caught, and I'm running right behind to save him. I stunned this guy. Probably not a good idea, but I stunned him because I was scared. I had to run away. There were 2 heroes again. My friend again gave up his life right under tower. And he's using an ability called Diffusal Blade on me, which slows me down. And he's trying to chase me. But remember, I'm a strength hero, which means I usually have a higher HP pool. And I managed to successfully flee. But in the meantime, my friend actually came in the lane. Let's go to free camera. And this gentleman is chasing him, Baby Cakes. But again, he's a very good friend of mine. They both have ability to be invisible. You can see this silhouette right now, which means this guy is invisible. Enemies cannot see him unless they use certain countermeasures. And we will again talk about those later on. We will be using them. But as you can see, guys, even if you're a fan of Dota or if you are new to this, you can see we are pretty much losing right now. A very tough game, tough start. 20 kills, those guys got 20 kills in total over us, and we only have 11. What that means is their heroes are more farmed, they have more of these levels. I'm only level 11. They also will have more items because they're killing more of us, and this usually is what leads to us losing. Now you can see in the middle, 3 of us are grouping together. Here I am, I'm hiding here, I'm basically hiding in the trees, and I'm hoping that someone comes and attacks these guys so I can come out and, you know, do the booga booga boo kind of thing, try and scare them away. But it doesn't happen. So let's go to player perspective. Here I am. This is going to be a fight, and let's see. Now they stun me. This is going to be a big one. Let's see what happens. I throw a stun in and our friend gets a double kill. So what's happened there is they engage on the wrong guy. I'm a strength hero. I'm meant to be tanky. What I did is they used all their powers on me, all their abilities on me, but when their effect on me wore off, I basically threw the hammer down this ability, I stunned them, and the Skywrath Mage finished them off. So this time we're kind of in trouble, as you can see, but my job was pretty much done. Again, I'll try and save his life. I stunned this guy, and this is me being stupid. I think, hey, we can kill it, and our friend should have used a Shadow Coil on me. He has an ability where he can save an ally, but he used it on himself, so that was kind of a mistake there. But it ended up costing us kill. On and all, I think we lost 4 heroes on each side. Well, 4 versus 3 actually, so it was a better trade, as you can see. We only lost 1, 2, and 3 heroes, but they lost 4. So I would say out of all things that have happened to us in this game so far, this was a better trade. And trading is something that you do in the game where you pretty much walk around the map, try and pick enemy heroes off, whilst, you know, they try and do the same. So again, a game of cat and mouse, right? And you win by either A, increasing the number of participants on your side, as in you have 3 of you running after 1 hero and killing him, or those guys doing the same thing to you, right? Because when usually 5-on-5 battle happens, they don't happen very often, especially not this early in the game. But when they do happen, it's an all-out war and it's utterly chaos. And for a new guy like me, sometimes you pretty much get overwhelmed. So here I am. I am slowly teleporting in here. I see the enemy. I'm going to... Oh, this guy again goes invisible, as you can see. So he's a very tricky hero. Let's talk about why this game I decided to post this video, guys. If you're a fan of Dota, if you've been playing it, you can see that their lineup, as in the heroes they chose, their 5 heroes versus our 5 heroes, the game is pretty much not very balanced. I'm sure you understand what I'm trying to say. They have very, very good carries. They have a very good late game carry. This gentleman here, Phantom Lancer, as you can see, his ability is to summon different units. He can summon multiple clones of himself and he can do cool things. So he is one of the scariest late game hero. But here we are. A cool kill is going to happen and we ended up killing him. So this hero walked out of place. My friend shackled him, my friend Samoy here, and I ended up getting the kill. So I'm slowly building up, guys. I've had 2 deaths so far. I've killed 3 enemies and I have 5 assists. So, you know, all in all, we're doing good. The bottom thing you see here is I've got 61 last hits, which means I've killed these little creep guys here. I've managed to secure a last hit on them 63 times, so there we go. That's 64, and 3 is a deny, which we'll talk about in another video. Let's keep things simple for now. I didn't even know. See, that guy standing near me, he's invisible. I have no idea. He's following me, guys. So here I am. I decide that, hey, it's not safe to be here because enemies might be here, so I simply back out. But anyways, we were talking about enemies, so let's look at some other enemies. Now we're looking at their hero called Slark. He's another dreaded heroes in pubs, Dota pubs, where this guy has an innate ability to regenerate his life just by staying away from enemies. So where any other hero has to go back to their base to heal and to get mana and all the good stuff, this guy can get HP just by staying away. He's pretty much an unkillable hero, and again, the role he plays is a carry, which means his job is to get kills on other heroes. The other hero they have is Ogre Magi, one of the not so overpowered heroes, but still in a pub game like this, he's pretty good. So here we go, we're going to have a fight here, I believe. People are gathering together. You see me walking here. There are enemies squandering about. There's 4 of us here, so let's see what happens here, guys. As you can see, silhouettes of enemies. We can't see them again, right? See, they're in the fog of war, so it's something you can see in the replay, but you can't see in the real game. So we have no idea where they are. We see one of the illusions coming up, and we try to hit it. We realize, hey, this is an illusion. An illusion basically is a copy of a hero that is not him, of course, and it deals less damage and takes more damage. This guy, however, decided to be a little cocky at the enemy hero. He walked out, and we basically ended up catching him off guard. And see, remember when I said it's all about catching people off guard? That's exactly what I did there. Now we see a hero's hook. I throw a stun at him, and we basically go to fight him. Here we go. This guy attacks me, but to no avail. As I said, I'm a melee hero, I'm a strength hero. And the way this character is built, he's all about being, if I get in your face, I'm going to pretty much kill you. That's my hero called Sven. So a melee guy who's known to be one of the toughest guys in the game. But he requires a lot of farm to get going. So there we go. We've managed to kill a few heroes. And this guy manages to kill me again. So not looking good, guys. Not looking good at all. I'm the only carry in the team. I have only, I'll show you. Oops, I'm dead right now. I'm actually looking at this fight here, that's why you can't see it. The enemy support has more kills over us than I have. For a total, we have 19 kills only against their 27. Let's go to free camera and I can show you how the whole map is looking like. Now, as you can see, we've slowly pushed into their tower. We've actually broken one of their towers down. This is because of the other players like this, like these guys here, playing in the top lane doing their job. So at the bottom lane, as you can see, we got our tower. So we're doing pretty good. They have one tower alive here, which is being pushed right now. They also have a tower here. They also have a tower here. So we are pretty much equal in terms of tower, in terms of, remember the race as I said earlier. The goal is to get to the enemy ancient and destroy it. This is our, we have to protect it at all cost. And the enemy ancient is there. They're going to do the same thing. So we're slowly making up our ways. Basically what we're doing is we're making it safe for our creeps to walk all the way down here and to start attacking the next tower, because if the tower was here, as you can imagine, the creeps, all these guys would be trying to take this tower down here, but now they can successfully go here. The only thing that's stopping them is enemy creeps, but more importantly, the heroes as well. So there we go. And this is the guy. Now he is super scary, as I said. The longer the game lasts, the scarier this guy gets. People call this hero as Cancer Lancer. That's the loving name they give him. He's called Phantom Lancer for obvious reasons, that if he gets out farmed, people say he's one of the most unbalanced hero in the game. So, as I said, in terms of lineup, they are pretty scary heroes. I've showed you Mr. Pudge here. He's, again, as I said, his job is to pull enemies away from their safe haven into trouble, and he's amazing at that. Ogre Magi is the king of luck. He has an ability, the ultimate ability, which gives him a chance to pretty much double or triple cast his ability. So for every hero that can cast an ability once, this gentleman here can cast it 2 times, 3 times, even 4 times. So a hero based on luck, and when he gets going, as you saw, this guy is my bane. He's been melting me all this time. At the same time, Shadow Fiend is also known to be one of the most scariest mid out there, and he's also a very good late game hero. So every single one of their heroes is very, very, very scary. Whereas our lineup is good, but it's not as good as them, because one Phantom Lancer, this gentleman here, is enough most of the times to pretty much tip the balance. And this game, they have it pretty much well balanced. Our hero, we have Abaddon. He's our basically tanky support hero. The other support we have is Samoy, as I showed you earlier, this guy with the Serpent Ward ability. my awesome friend who's been laning with me, Nature's Prophet, the guy. Let's talk about this guy now. This guy's job is to basically push the lanes. You see the towers being taken away. His ability, one of the abilities he has, is he can teleport anywhere on the map. Remember when I talked about earlier where you have to buy a certain item called Teleport Scroll to get from one part of the map to the other, and even then you can only teleport to a friendly structure, not even a unit. So, but this guy's ability, Nature's Prophet, it lets him teleport anywhere on the map. So this guy from here, for example, can pretty much teleport right here if he wants to. Things that's stopping him, of course, is the towers that he's going to die. But what he can do, what he's good at, is a thing called split pushing. As in, if we're all attacking mid lane, for example, this big area here, imagine there's a 5-on-5 battle here, he can basically say, I don't want to be here, I'm going to go top lane, and he can push the tower. As I said, you break the towers and make your way into the base, right? So that's what he's known for. We have Skywrath Mage. He's again a support player which can also carry a certain time, but late game, as in if the game goes on for longer, his abilities don't really matter that much. So another good hero we have, but again, compare it to the other heroes, not gonna happen. Here we go. I think we're gonna go into a fight. This is an all-out war. I bought an item called Black King Bar. Now let's talk about this awesome thing. Remember, this guy was stunning me all this time, causing all sorts of chaos. Now he can't do that anymore. The reason being, I have this item, and when I activate this item called the Black King Bar, it makes me immune to magical damage for a set amount of time. Every time I activate it, it obviously has a cooldown before it's usable again. But any enemy that can target me with magical abilities, whether that's the guy who can stun me or the guy who can pull me with hooks and do damage to me, all of that could be avoided by purchasing this item. So as you can see, I'm slowly getting amazing items. Last time we talked about my hero particularly, I had Drums of Endurance only, which gave me some stats. Next, I bought a Morbid Mask, remember, that gave me lifesteal. I've upgraded that into Mask of Madness, which makes me pretty much mad, which means that I will attack faster and I'll move faster, but I will also take 30% extra damage. So an item I have to be very careful when using, because if I get it wrong, then they can basically kill me very easily. What I'm trying to say this to our pro players is, or people who are way better than me, which is probably most of you guys, is if I activate the Mask of Madness, this ability here, and actually not activate my BKB in a fight, chances will be that the enemies can stun me and then basically right click me to death, as in I will make my death easier by activating this item. So Mask of Madness, a tricky item to use, so knowing when to use it is the most important thing. And this is a Quelling Blade, and a starting item. I'll talk about this in some other videos. But the other item I have is Dust of Appearance. Now remember, certain heroes can go invisible. Let's go and find our hero now. There he is. Even I am right now invisible because I picked up a rune. But basically this item lets the invisible hero be visible for a set amount of time. For about, I'm not sure for how long it works. For duration 12 seconds. There we go. So an invisible hero can be seen on a map for 12 seconds. Now why did I buy this? I bought this because of our awesome and annoying friend called Mr. Phantom Lancer. Because if we do not stop this guy, as you can see, he's building more items. His actually item farm is way faster than me. He's doing better than me. And things are getting scary. As you can see, he's the carry of their team. The guy has 6 kills and only 2 deaths, whereas I have 5 kills, 3 deaths, but 7 assists. So, you know, I've been doing pretty good. I've been sporting well. But you'll see as the game goes by, we'll talk more about it. And as I was talking, there have been few deaths in our team. So as again, you can see, we are slowly catching up, but still, we are so far away. 30 kills to only 22 to our side, and here we go, 3 heroes dead. I do apologize for the swearing you'll see in the game, guys. You know, people get a bit emotional in the game. They're all amazing guys, but you know, there we go. So here we go, I get caught out. I activate my BKB. It makes me magic immune. And this guy, remember when I said he can pull you out of, you know, safety and get you in trouble? But now I'm trapped. I have this enemy hero chasing me. I have very low HP. And there's so many other heroes. There's 3 heroes chasing me. He finally catches me and I am dead. So even though I managed to save it, the issue was I didn't have my teammates to back me up, and eventually this fight ended up in their favor. As you can see, they only lost 1 guy to our 3 heroes. So I am dead. I'm 6 and 4 now. And they are very much close to our base. Look at that. Our bottom tower is gone. Now they are very close to this thing here. Let's talk about these buildings here. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1 and 2, and it's pretty much same on their side as well. Now these things are called barracks. This is something that makes your creeps stronger. As you can see, those little creep guys that spawn, these guys over here, let me show them to you the next time they spawn. These barracks are what makes the melee creeps and the range creeps in your lane stronger. As in, if an enemy manages to destroy these, as you can see, these guys automatically spawn. They do not come out of these buildings, don't get me wrong, they automatically spawn. But if I were to lose 2 of my barracks here, then the enemy team's melee, these creeps, will become stronger. Pretty much like almost double. I'm not sure the exact percentage, but it'll be pretty much of a significant difference that if we were to have, you know, 4v4 creep fight, then their creep will decimate ours. So very important that before even before we get to defend our ancient, we have to do a great job at defending these barracks. So towers will fall right now because heroes are getting so strong that chances are you know, they can destroy them very easily if we let them unwatched. But these barracks are something we cannot afford to lose, because if we lose that, the creep equilibrium, meaning the enemy creeps will become stronger, it'll tip in their side, and then they can easily push in, because then we not only have to deal with stronger heroes on their side, but stronger creeps, which will take a long time to die. So there we go. See, lots of information, guys. I apologize if it's getting too much out of hand, and I hope you're enjoying it so far. But let's carry on. So our bottom lane tower is lost. They're still pressuring the lane, and we're still trying to figure out a way. Guys, what do we do? And here we go. Perfect initiation. I stunned the hero, but this time I ended up using the dust. Remember the thing that makes you visible. So I use the ability, I use a Mask of Madness, which makes me, remember, take more damage, but also, you know, it makes me move faster. So we were able to catch up on the hero, and here we are. So we managed to kill their carry. Very important, because if this guy dies, he cannot be so, you know, cancerous. If this guy's dead, I'm gonna go and farm these guys here. Let's talk about these random people here. You can see these little creeps standing here. We call them creeps. You also see some of them over here, some of them scattered over here. Now this is our jungle. This part of this, as you can see, you know, scary trees where the dire side, you know, the bad side, so to speak. Not the bad side, the dark side. These are our creeps. Same thing happens on the other side where they have their version of their creeps, as you can see. Now these things are neutral creeps, which mean they do not align to our side or the enemy's side. They basically stand there, and if you go and attack them, they will attack you. As simple as that. So why do I go and kill them? I go and kill them because they give me gold, because anything that you get a last hit on in the game, literally anything, will give you gold. And here you go. So I go and kill these creeps. It lets me farm extra gold. Why am I doing that here rather than killing the lane creeps right now? Is because we don't see, as you can see, we don't see enemy heroes. So if I were to get ganked, because this is not the right time because all of them are dead, but imagine if all of them were alive at this time, we would have no idea. If I just stand in the lane, they can actually walk up to me and kill me. They can actually do the 5-man attack on me, and I'll be helpless. So these creeps are there for you to farm, and you have to pretty much evaluate and kind of judge yourself, what is the appropriate time for me to farm these creeps. Me farming creeps at that time was not the best place to do that, because so many of their heroes were dead. Ideally we should have been pushing their towers, and that's the biggest mistake. So as I said, it's a newbie game, guys. I'm still learning it. I'm getting slowly farmed. As you can see, I'm buying items, I'm getting stronger. I have 7 kills now and 4 deaths, so we're doing pretty much okay, but there's still a lot to be desired, because they still are on the winning edge. They have a tower advantage over us. Look at that. They have 2 towers standing, and we only have 1 right here. So, and their heroes are much stronger than us. So as you can see me, I'm still running around in the jungle. I'm waiting for the timer. The creeps will spawn. I think this I moved here too early. I blocked the camp, and again, I'm going to keep killing them. So all creeps, these neutral creeps, they spawn after the end of every minute. So it's 37 minutes into the game. At 38-minute mark, this camp will be replenished, provided no one is literally looking inside the camp. If you have vision on the camp, then nothing will spawn here, and that's an advanced tactic people use later on in the game. But here we are. Now as I was doing that, as you can see, people have been doing their things, and we actually were able to take down 1 tower. My friend walked up to this camp, this gentleman here called Simoy. His ultimate ability lets him put these serpent wards, and when you put the wards down, they're very good ways of taking enemy tower down. So they have 1 tower alive now, we have 1 tower alive, and things are looking good. But they're also looking scary in ways that all of their carries, all of their players, look at that, even a support hero like this, they have amazing farm. But hey, I missed a pretty good kill. Let me show you what's happened there. Ooh, I have to... Let me go and find my hero. Yep, there we go. I can move forward. There we go, guys. So now they're attacking our base. Now look at this. I was pretty proud of that. The guy pulls me out of my safe tower. He pulls me toward himself. I activate the magic immunity and I activate Mask of Madness. And I kill 3 heroes in a quick succession. Hence me getting a triple kill. So things are starting to look pretty decent right now. I am 10-4 right now, and I am actually turning out to be slightly scary now for the enemy team. As I said, the goal is to keep farming, keep getting items while saving your base, and if I can do that, I buy more items. I bought this item called Crystalist, which allows me to do critical hits and a chance to do critical hits with a certain amount of damage. Now this guy is the big daddy of all neutral creeps. Remember I showed you these camps here and all these heroes. This man is called Roshan. Or Roshan, that's how he should be called, because it's an ancient Sanskrit name. Nonetheless, this gentleman here, he's a very important guy to kill in, and usually he decides which way the game is going to go in some scenarios, because if you kill the guy, he carries this thing called Ages of the Immortal, and pretty much as you think, it'll do what it says. It makes you immortal, but only for one lifetime. As in, if they manage to decimate me right now, if I were to die right now, this Aegis would get consumed and I would respawn again. So a very important thing, again, killing him, because remember everything you get a last hit on, it gives you gold, it gives you experience, but this guy gives you a little bit more. That is Ages of the Immortal. It makes you invincible. It gives you 1 extra life, so you don't have to go back and die and wait for the spawn timer to come back in. So here we go, guys. Now I'm farming. Now ideally, since I have the Age of the Immortal, we should be pushing, but since this was a random game, I knew about 2 people in the game. We couldn't coordinate that better, because as I said, the game is all about team play, you know. A single guy can't do anything. With all the farm I have, with all this Ages in, if I were to simply walk into their base, they would still kill me. Now here's another big fight. Someone pops the Ages. Whereabouts am I? I'm actually kind of far away, so I wasn't there in position. And let's see what I do. Do I even engage in this? I should have jumped in. I'm still looking around, and I decided to just walk away, because these guys were pretty scary. Oh, and this was an amazing pick by Ogre Magi. So there we go. Now they again managed to decimate 3 of our heroes for only cost of 1 of their heroes. I could have jumped in there and I maybe could have stopped them, but then again, I do not think so. And the thing is, I am one of the main carries that if I die, the respawn timer would tick in. Oh, well, it actually wouldn't, because I have Ages, but still, I think all in all, I think I made a mistake there. I should have helped out my team, at least thrown a stun in and walked away. But here we are, as a mistake we made in a team fight. Now enemy team is right here, as you can see. This hero is here, and the guy you see in a shaded thing, to me in the game he actually looks an exact copy of this, so it would confuse me that you saw me attacking him right there. So it's a pretty hard thing. Our heroes are dead. 2 of our heroes, as you can see, the respawn timer is still going on, and we are trying desperately to defend our base. They haven't taken any of our towers yet. Remember, if this tower falls, they can attack these barracks. If these barracks fall, every single creep, these little guys from enemy team become absolutely stronger, and it makes the game for them pretty much easier. So we are just talking on the mic saying, hey, come on, let's group together and let's do something about this. So the enemy team is farming pretty okay, I think. Their Phantom Lancer is sitting in the middle. Let me talk a little bit about his ability again, why he's so overpowered. Every time this guy attacks someone, he has a chance to spawn an illusion, I believe. Yes, and those illusions also have a chance to multiply. So before you know it, within a few seconds or so, this guy can summon about quite a lot of copies of him. I'm not sure the exact numbers, but enough to have maximum images, 8 of these. So you can have 8 of those images who deal, I think, there you go, I can tell you. Illusion deal 20% of his damage, not a lot, but the thing is, 8 of them, you can see that you pretty much have more than, you know, it's pretty much like you're having 3 of these heroes active at all times. So very scary hero, and he also has these items on top of these abilities which make him even more scarier. As in this Diffusal Blade, every time he right clicks in hero, he drains their mana. So scary times going in. Here I am. I actually managed to kill another hero, so we're doing pretty good. Another hero comes in. This is their Shadow Fiend. He's got BKB, but I managed to kill him, and again, single-handedly I managed to get a triple kill. So we have killed 3 of their heroes, and I hope we decide to actually go and fight right now. But I am still farming. The thing is, I am super scared. I was trying to farm for my buyback gold. I didn't realize, now buyback is something, guys, that if you die like these guys have, if you have enough gold in your pocket, you can instantly buy back and get back into the fight. Obviously the penalty of being you losing a lot of gold. And what I was making sure over here is, because I was doing very well right now, I had very good items on me. I wanted to get as much farm as possible that there will be pretty much a very little chance of me dying. As you can see right now, I've buffed up the creep wave. My third ability gives everyone armor and movement speed. So we are pushing the wave. Now we're deciding that, hey, they have a middle tower standing there. How about we destroy it, because it's almost dead right there. So we're all marching in. I've given them armor again, and here we are trying to take down the middle tower. This thing is called fortification. This ability right here, which we also have, it basically makes your structures immune for 5 seconds. So it delays the push, so to speak. Now we're getting into their base, and hopefully we're going to try and take down the tower. Remember that if these barracks fall, then enemies are pretty much in trouble in this lane, as far as this lane goes. So one of our friend gets pulled out. I see that, and I try to save him. I throw my stun in, and boom goes the dynamite. So I ended up killing him. I ended up saving my teammate, and we ended up taking a barracks. So there we go. This was pretty good. We were very happy about that. And at the same time, as you can see, we'll go to free camera, they were also pushing our top lane. So the enemy, as I said, this hero is so scary that if you're not paying attention, he can backdoor you, as in you are busy trying to attack their base. He comes from behind and he pretty much wrecks you. So here we go. Our team decides to come back in. Skywrath Mage comes in, and we're going to try and kill him. But again, the biggest mistake we made in this whole team, no one except for me bought any gem or dust, which means we cannot see the invisible hero. Finally, I think, is someone carrying a gem? I don't think so, no. That's basically with the tower. So towers also give you true vision, which means if a target is invisible, towers will reveal and attack them at the same time. So going back to the fight, we managed to take down the middle barracks, which means the creeps that are going to spawn over here, which I'm going to show you very soon, are going to be stronger. Here you go. This guy is called Mega Range Creep compared to just their normal Mega Melee Creep. And you can see that even this guy, a hero, is having slight bit of trouble trying to deal with them. So these guys have more hit points, they have more damage, they have basically the more shebang. You know, they're stronger than an average creep. And we achieved this by destroying both of their barracks. Now ideally we want to destroy every single barrack there, or we can actually go for a YOLO strategy, which is just push the mid lane in, destroy these 2 towers, and finally take the throne, take the ancients. So we are working on it. As you can see, I'm still farming for an item. I have 5,000 gold. That is a lot of gold. And finally, one of our teammates bought a thing called Gem of True Sight, and as you can tell, it does exactly what it says. It makes people visible. So gone are the days when Mr. Phantom Lancer, this gentleman here, can go invisible. Gone are the days when this guy also here, Shadow Fiend, can go invisible, because we both can reveal them. If Abaddon, this hero carrying the gem, the carrier of the gem, is near a hero, it grants True Sight not only to himself but to the whole team. So again, I'm farming a little bit more, and I feel, I think, a little bit comfortable right now. I'm like, I'm going to get my next item, and hopefully we're going to do this. So I'm building more items. You can see I can only carry 6 items. So to carry the right item is very important. And here is a place where I make a big mistake. And look at this hero. I literally had just a millisecond to react, and it wasn't enough because there were 3 of them. So this gentleman, as I said, he's a support hero, and his ability, his ultimate, lets you cast same ability over and over again on a single target. And as he said, he was able to cast it 7 times on me. 7 times. That's just me staying stunned for the entirety of the duration. So I died, and he's trying to troll me, but I'm happy. I'm like, yeah, you got 7 times. Good job, man. Good job. So scary times are coming in because I'm dead. I'm the solo carry, as you can see. I will show you the leaderboard right now. Abaddon is doing good. This is the scorecard right now. Let's talk about it. The Pudge is not doing good, but as I said, this hero is so scary that even though he's not doing good, if he lands a single hook, if he manages to put you out of the position, the other team can kill him. Phantom Lancer, again, even though he's not been in part of kills, he's actually leveling up pretty good. Their Ogre Magi, the support hero, has been the star. He's got 12 kills and 6 deaths. Their Shadow Fiend also has been amazing, 15 kills, 6 deaths, and 7 for 7. Whereas my team, we've been struggling pretty bad. You can see 10 and 8. That's the only other viable carry we have in the game. Our mid hero is having a pretty bad time, and as we say, there's another fight going on over here. I hope they get this kill here, but as you can see, we're doing pretty much bad, and this time I am a carry, and it's my job to see the game to victory because my teammates were amazing enough to hold out for this long. I've been farming all this time, and time to make it count. But it doesn't look like that, does it, guys? So here you go, the enemy with these illusions attacking my tower. We've used the fortification, but the damage they deal is pretty astonishingly high. The tower will fall if they keep attacking it, and this is the enemy hero. So you can see that if I'm not there, if the carry is not there, that's me, then our team pretty much loses it. And now we've lost tower. We are pretty worried right now. Hey, our tower is gone, our barracks are exposed, and they start attacking our barracks. So we are all panicking. and down goes our barracks. Now they took out our range barracks smartly enough because it's one that has lower HP, I believe. But finally my teammates spawned back in, I spawned back in, and we are trying to find them. But see, they retreat very cleverly. They're both invisible heroes. They walk out. Abaddon was not anywhere near us at that time, so we couldn't find where they were. And they actually did an amazing thing. They took down our tower, they took down our barracks, and now we are worried because, again, in terms of total games net worth of how things are going, they clearly have an advantage over us. They have stronger heroes, which means that even if we keep delaying the game further and further, all of their heroes have a chance to be much more stronger than us, whereas we are kind of struggling. But here you go, I find a hero off guard and I managed to snag the kill. Well, Nature's Prophet did, but team game, we managed to get the kill, and we got one of their hero who was caught out. So now one of the heroes is dead, and let's see what we do. Now I'm farming still a little bit more. I'm being a little bit greedy, as you can see, but the goal is I'm trying to finish the next item called Heart of Tarask, which gives me more HP and it makes me more tanky and it gives me more damage as well. So after I get that item, I will be 6 slotted pretty much, and then I can go and kill the strongest of their team. So that's what we're doing, guys. We're trying to delay the fight. We are trying to make it so that whenever the engagements happen, whenever the enemies meet each other, from now on, especially at this time of the game, we want it to be in a way that we have more heroes versus their heroes, i.e. we catch them off guard. But at the same time, as you can see, whilst we are defending the waves, these guys manage to sneak back in. This gentleman respawned here, and if this guy dies, then this Aegis will be picked up by enemy team, because as I said, remember, he's a neutral hero, which means whoever kills him gets the big prize. So his health is going down and one of the heroes will snag it, and I believe it's going to be Pudge. There we go. So they've picked up Aegis of the Immortal. We realize, hey, this is scary stuff, and I'm pretty much close by as well. There we go. So now we know they have Aegis. A smart team like theirs would usually, after getting the Aegis, they should push in the lane, because you know it's getting to that way. Even though we got the middle barracks and the towers here on their lane, their creeps are doing pretty good trying to bat our creeps in, but it's usually their heroes stepping in and trying to push the lane. Because remember, if our creeps, look at that, our creeps in general are much stronger than theirs, and we can pummel them to death, but their hero would come in and they would defend. So that's what they're doing. And at the same time, the other heroes are grouping up together. Look at that. He's got an army of 4 or 5 of these guys. They all deal a staggering amount of damage now. And they are pushing bottom lane. Rightfully so, because they've already taken 1 barracks. If they take another one of these, they will pretty much even out the barracks loss they have. So they are pushing the lane. Here comes the next wave of creeps. And I come in. And this time we have to defend. They see all of us and they walk away, because I'm the carry and I can deal a lot of damage now. So this wave was pushed back, but then again they have more creeps coming, and Phantom Lancer is here as well, so things are great. And we are worried right now. Again, the newbie bracket that we are in, all of us are pretty much worried. We're waiting for their next push. After their next push, we see what we can do. Now let's go to player perspective. You can see me running around and I'm at the back, but I will go forward as soon as things are cold. One of our friends gets caught out and I have to save his life again. I throw a stun, it's too late, but we did catch him off guard, and I'm going to not attack him because I know he has Aegis and he's going to die. I catch the other heroes. We have Abaddon, which makes invisible hero visible thanks to his gem, and as you saw, the damage I dealt there was staggeringly high. That's 1500 damage crit on an enemy. Someone else got the kill, but here I am. I'm doing pretty well actually. Let's look at my hero. There we go. I'm 15 and 5 now. So remember, I was 5 and 3 back then, and I've only died 2 times now. So we're doing pretty well, and I'm doing the job of a carry. Now this is my damage, something I've kept not talked about all this time. This is where your hero's damage is represented. This is where your armor is and your movement speed. So I'm pretty strong. I see my heroes being attacked. I come from behind. I stun the target, and we right click him into oblivion. So there we go. And again, he was a scary guy. We managed to get in. Now they're all 5 dead and we have 3 heroes alive. So you can guess what's going to happen, guys. We've already taken their middle barracks. We can either A, go and push the other lanes, but we have a hero called Nature's Prophet who's doing the job. So what we decided to do instead was to actually go and push the lane. So okay, they still have 4 heroes dead, guys, and 1 of our heroes are coming alive. So our job is to, you know, get as much damage to their base as possible before all of these heroes spawn in. One of the guys, interestingly enough, bolts back, and now they have 3 heroes back. So if there were to be a fight over here, it's going to be a pretty big deciding factor. Let's see what happens. So we carefully back off, and I think this is a very smart decision we made. Only 2 of us in, even though I'm very strong and all. a hero like this, if I don't get my BKB right, can multicast stun me, as you saw earlier, and I can just die before I could lift a finger. So I walk away, and now they are trying to push the lane. So I'm going to take a different route, and I'm going to try and regroup with the team whenever I can. But I believe I'm going to get another item now, isn't it? I think so. Yeah, so I'm still not satisfied. These drum items I bought earlier, drums of endurance, I think they've served their purpose, so I might even end up selling them very soon. So I choose to buy an item called assault cuirass, which gives my whole team armored. So I'm thinking about, hey, you know, I'm very tanky, I'm super strong, but you guys are dying a little bit, so let's bulk you guys up and also make the enemy team weaker. So I bought one of the items for it, and I'm going to carry this from now on, and soon I'm going to finish the item. So most of these items have parts, as you can see. I can't show you right now, but all these items, you can make them into small pieces. For example, this blacking bar, you can make it by make it through a combination of 3 different pieces, and you can buy them one by one. So even though the item itself would cost something like 5,000 gold, you can buy small pieces that are like 1,600 gold, 1,000 gold, and 1,375 for the item, and you can do good. Now this hero was out of position. I see him cleverly, and I activated my BKB here. I activated for a simple reason that I couldn't see the other heroes, and also my BKB is only on a 4-second duration now, so it can't go any lower, which means I pretty much used the heck out of this item, so might as well keep using it now, because hey, why not? So we get another hero, we catch him off guard, and I'm still farming a little bit. We could still win this, as I said. We should have won this a long time ago, but the newbies that we are, you know, talking on internet to random people we don't know, trying to, you know, come up with a strategy, it's very challenging. And that's, to me, guys, like on a side note, is an amazing part of Dota. You know, it's a game where lots of emotions are online, you know. On the line, you play against real people, against, you know, you play with real people against real people. If they die because you did a small mistake, rest assured that they will tell you very clearly that you are bad, you're this, or if you do something good on the other side, that they sometimes would say nice things to you. But I usually always try to be positive. I love playing video games for fun, so I enjoy the fun aspect of it. And but here we go, guys. So I see another mid hero in here, hopefully. No, this hero goes away, and look at that, all the illusions now, I can kill him easily. And that's the reason why I picked up Sven in the beginning, guys. I haven't talked any clever strategies here, to be very honest with you, because this is my first video on Dota. I wanted it to be friendly as possible and slightly newbie-ish, you know, but I can talk about some clever strategies later on. The reason why I chose Sven is because he has an ability called Cleave, which means that if the guy, like Phantom Lancer, pushes with his multiple illusions, then I can pretty much counter that with one hit, which is what I've been doing all this time. See, I activate my BKB, I get some nice right clicks on him, I kill one hero, I throw another stun when my hero was in trouble, and we get another hero. So as you can see, guys, it's all about teamwork. One of my friends shackles this guy, I throw my stun in, and this is very important. This is my initiating skill. This is my skill, as I call hammer time, you know. You throw the stun at an enemy, and then they know trouble is coming. So that's Sven for you guys, a very simple melee strength hero. But now we've decided, hey, enough is enough. I think we have most of our items. I'm not sure if we're going to win, but look at that. Our team keeps getting caught out. So I jump in and I try to save the day. And I did. So what I did is I stunned the guy. And that led us to get the guy. The next guy jumps in foolishly. And what he doesn't know is when I'm there, I deal a lot of damage, and I actually managed to cleave someone else as well that I didn't even see. So again, this ability I have, this passive ability, it lets me cut through a lot of enemies. For my main target is taking 100 damage, for instance, the target next to him will take 65 damage, and that's pretty amazing. You know, you're not even hitting the guy, yet he's still taking damage. So that's Sven for you guys. We finally get the courage. We are actually trying to break down their tower, and it's almost GG time. I've got 20 kills, 5 death, and 13 assists as well. We are going to bash down their tower, and as I said, the only win in the game is when you actually destroy their base, and that's what we're going to do right now. Here we go, their base has been destroyed, and we all call GG. So at least I did. So this has been my very first video on Dota, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked it. This was my attempt at doing a live commentary, or like a replay commentary, I should say. Not really a live, but I am talking to you. So hope you enjoyed the game. If you like this, I can actually make more of these. And since I've done kind of an introduction video where I didn't say much about the game at all, Maybe I'll do a better one later on. You know, maybe I'll actually talk about the real aspects of the game if you enjoy watching it. Nonetheless, this has been the Holy Hermit for you. Thank you very much for stopping by and giving me your continuous support. Goodbye, and I'll see you in the next video. Ta-ta.